In the 2350s, following lengthy preparations, Starfleet would begin construction of a new generation of starships to serve as the mainline core of Starfleet, as many existing, long-standing workhorse classes began to reach the end of their active service lives in the 2350s. The most notable of this next generation of ships would be the Galaxy class, the crowning jewel of the new family and a revolution in starship design in the Federation when laid down. Galaxy would be the largest, longest-ranged, best-equipped, best-appointed, most powerful ship in the history of the Federation when launched in the early 2360s. A true accomplishment for the engineers and designers of Starfleet, Galaxy had enjoyed a long and detail-oriented development process before her construction even began. In this video, we are going to go over the development of the Galaxy class, where it branched off from the new class program Starfleet conducted in the 2340s and 50s, and also go over the construction of the class as well. A second part of this video will be released going over the active service of the members of the Galaxy class at a later date. The Galaxy class was developed amid a general atmosphere of gradually thawing complacency within Starfleet. For over 50 years, the United Federation of Planets had been the dominant power of the region, its ships being the most advanced and powerful in known space, its economy being the largest known and its population enjoying the highest standard of living in galactic history. A general feeling of stability and security had been felt by most since the retreat of the Romulan Star Empire back behind the neutral zone in the late 2390s. However, this sense of security and complacency had come to a slow end with the onset of the border wars with the Cardassian Union, which broke out in the 2340s. For the first time in many citizens' lifetimes, Federation citizens were being killed by a hostile alien power, and once more Starfleet was called upon to defend the innocent. However, while Starfleet was able to engage the Cardassian Union at a peer level, the early engagements did show the increasing age of much of the fleet, with the majority of the fleet dating back from the time of the hot peace with the Klingon Empire in the 2280s and 90s. Against the modern Cardassian fleet, these aging ships could struggle somewhat in certain circumstances. This conflict would put the necessity of modernizing Starfleet into sharp focus in the government, something that the alarming Klingon rearmament had already started in the 2330s. And Starfleet would receive approval from the government to begin a sweeping modernization program in the mid-2340s. From the new class program, a number of ambitious new designs would emerge. Ships which were planned to serve as the core of Starfleet for the rest of the century and beyond, replacing the prior generations of ships already in service which had begun to show their age. These new ships would all share several components in common, as well as using many of the same design elements and being built to the same principles. Several new technologies would have to be developed for the program, including a new generation of reactors developed at Utopia Planitia. The program, even before a single ship had been laid down, represented an enormous investment for Starfleet, involving enormous amounts of time, resources, and the efforts of well over 1 million persons from both Starfleet and civilian agencies of the Federation. It is safe to say that with these ships, Starfleet was banking its entire future, working to build a series of ships which would act to safeguard the Federation and allow Starfleet to fulfill its multitude of duties with an efficiency and mission capability which could only have been dreamed of before. It was not just the ships of Starfleet which had grown long in the tooth by the 2340s. Much of the infrastructure to support the fleet, in fact, was even older than the fleet itself. With many of the Federation's shipyards, space stations, comms relays, and outposts dating from the 2260s and 70s, the middle of the hot peace with the Klingon Empire. Thus, before the first ship of the new class program could even begin construction, a massive level of modernization would begin across the Federation, with the crown jewel facility of this program being the Utopia Planitia Fleet Yards of Mars. Already massively expanded during the early years of the program, the yard would go from a largely experimental and developmental facility to test new technologies to one of the top 3 shipyards in the Federation by the time work concluded. It would be at Utopia Planitia that the main design teams for the Galaxy program would be based, and where the lion's share of their work would be done. The most impressive areas of the new yards would undoubtedly be the facilities where the Galaxy class would in fact be built, with the ships constructed in a novel method whereby the vessel's main structural members would be built on the Martian surface before the space frame would be grav-lifted into orbit and the ships completed in a more conventional manner. Construction in this fashion required an enormous amount of space and significant investment in the form of lifts, assembly areas planetside, and orbital facilities. While the ships of the new class program introduced a number of novel new technologies, the crowning achievement of the program would be, without a doubt, their reactors, with all members of the class mounting a Generation 5 series vertical stack reactor, which provided more power at greater efficiency and in a more compact size than prior reactors of the 4th and 3rd generations. Credit for this new generation of warp engine can be attributed to Design Team 7 and its project lead Leah Brahms, a gifted team of some of the best and brightest engineers and specialists in the Federation. Prototypes of the drive for the Galaxy class, which was developed first with other classes of the program and their reactors branching off from it, would be tested in the mid-2350s, with success achieved after several false starts, the drive being approved for installation in the Galaxy class in 2358, with a power output rated to power a member of the class through warp speeds as high as warp factor 9.92. Aside from the ship's high speed, among the fastest in Starfleet history at the time, the Galaxy class was provided with many revolutionary technologies, introducing isolinear circuitry into the fleet, pioneering new sensor, shielding, weaponry, holodeck technologies, computer intelligence, replicators, and adaptive programming. However, the feature which would be the most appreciated by the crews assigned to the members of the class would be none of these. Instead, the main talking point of the Galaxy class would be its luxurious crew quarters and amenities which rivaled the best civilian passenger ships in terms of comfort and roominess. Ships of prior generations had made major strides in crew housing compared to earlier designs, with the Excelsior considered much more livable than the Constitution II and Miranda classes, which in turn were more livable than the ships built in the 2350s and 60s. However, compared to this significant but iterative approach which dominated prior generations, the jump in crew comfort between Galaxy and her predecessors was nothing short of revolutionary. Not every ship of the new class program would feature the same level of crew space as the vaunted quarters of the Galaxy, with most smaller members of the program lacking family quarters, private restrooms, and showers for lower ranks, also featuring smaller personal quarters for senior officers. Though even these concessions still kept the vessels which had them well ahead of prior generations of starship, making appointment to a member of this series of class a very sought-after posting for many. Structure begun, and either finished or well along in construction, several members of the new class program would be constructed in the 2350s, serving as a means of working out problems with production, testing new technologies, and working out the kinks inherent to complicated new industries. With things going smoothly, Starfleet would lay down USS Galaxy, the prototype for the class, in 2354, launching the ship in 2357 and fully commissioning her in the latter half of the same year. The first tranche of ships would follow, being laid down in 2358 and commissioned in 2363 and 64 to be deployed on long-range exploratory missions at the edges of Federation space. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give it a like, comment what your favorite galaxy class is, I guess, although your options in this field basically amount to Enterprise D, which is the GOAT, Yamato, which was destroyed, Odyssey, which was destroyed, a couple of unnamed galaxies from the Dominion War, and then USS Challenger, I think it is, that apparently Geordi LaForge commanded at some point according to Voyager. I don't know why you would choose any of those other ones, but other options are available. It's like a monopoly. Technically, there are other options. You just don't want to use them because they're terrible. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if you liked the stuff. Let's see. Artwork. All artwork for the channel. I make original artwork for my videos. And if you do like the artwork, you can actually get it on the channel's Patreon. So follow the link below, click on it. All artwork I use in the videos is actually free. It doesn't cost you anything. So you can feel free to get it if that's something you want to do. Also, there is the Patreon there where I'm building an Oberth class in Minecraft. I have an update coming for that in the next couple of days, hopefully. I've made big progress from the first videos, so yeah, I'm looking forward to posting that. I have a couple of improvements I want to do to the channel moving forward. I want to get a different mic setup, especially. That's a big thing that I want to do. So we'll see how that goes. There's a couple of other little things, but I'm not going to get into them just yet. But yeah, there's some changes coming, hopefully. We'll see. But anyway, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day, I guess.